Welcome, guys. I'm here with Sequinox, the third place runner-up in the Parallel Paragons DAO Invitational, the first official event in the Parallel League. Really excited to have him here because he had some very interesting decks, a solid run-up, and a real solid shot at first. Sequinox, congratulations on third. How are you feeling? With the tournament and everything.
Thank you. Feels great, right? Feels great to get a podium finish. Um, yeah, I was trying to my best to go for the back-to-back.
Yeah.
I've been really sick.
Yeah, because you had won the
But
Creator
yeah,
Invitational.
but yeah. But third place is, I cannot be upset at third place. Third place is still really good. So yeah, I'm happy. And can't wait for more tournaments to come. Like
Yeah.
the next 2 weekends are also we still have quite some tournaments coming up. It's pretty crazy. So but yeah, so far so good. So far so good.
All right.
Feeling good. That's for sure.
How did you go? You already had done one tournament, right? Because you did the Creator Invitational, so it's not like you're coming off this isn't like the rust is already off, like if there was any, because you're already used to competitive play. How did you approach this tournament versus maybe the Invitational?
Well, I guess so. This one was mainly the format, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how I approached it was really just trying to think of the kind of edge that I could have, I could gain in the format through the format. I know it's a best of one,
Yeah.
which makes it even harder. So yeah. So it was really trying to prioritize where can I find any sort of edge, even though everyone is complaining, saying oh yeah, the format is really RNG. It's just gonna be luck mainly. But as much as there's luck involved, I believe certain choices in decks can make a difference. And I was just trying to abuse the fact that it was open deck list. Right? The fact that people can see your deck list, I was trying to tweak my deck lists and force people into doing things. Yeah, or
Yeah.
make them more comfortable into doing certain things through my deck lists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go through the deck list with that segue, because you are known to bring, the most innovative decks to a tournament. You've heard me on stream say, as a coach, I hate seeing you on a tournament, because whenever I see a new deck, like when I saw you bring the new Dawn, which we'll go over in one of the decks, I was like, I hate this guy. Like, now we have to figure out how what's his win condition. I have to make sure all the players know, all right, don't fall for this trap and this kind of thing, because there's a lot of unknown when you're not used to seeing a non-meta deck that's there for counters and stuff. But we have the Earthen list up first here. Anything you want to highlight with the list in general?
Pretty standard, I guess, for this one. Nothing really fancy, but I guess the one thing that's lacking is relics. Right? I'm just not a fan of relics in Earthen. Whether it's Gaia's Call or help me out, what's the other
The
one again?
Altar of Gaia, the 2-1, right? The 2-mana
Oh,
one.
Gaia, yeah. So I'm not a very huge fan. Other than that, I'm running 2 spores, which I usually don't. Right? I generally only run 1 spores, or even 0. But prior to this tournament, it felt like Gnaeus was picking up steam.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, and spores is pretty decent against that. So I wanted to make sure I had 2 copies just in case.
All right.
Other than that, shard is also quite a new addition to the deck. Extra ramp is just good. And I guess the coolest thing is the Tain
Yeah.
and the Cleanse the Earth. Yeah, so this is basically more or less the same from my previous deck list in the Invitational, right? Those 4 cards are there for the mirror, and they are just really good against Organ Core 2.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else is pretty standard.
Yeah. What about this doctor's assistant? Was that just a slot you needed to fill, or was there any specific purpose why that's in there?
Oh yeah, I just needed a 3-drop.
Okay, you need another 3-drop. Okay, that's fair. It's a solid one.
And I just think it's a bit better than Attendant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to your workshop deck here. Not too many people are familiar with this kind of build. I know you've played it something like this on stream before, so yeah, I'll give you the floor.
Yep. So this deck is pretty much controls tempo pretty well. Right? I am a very big fan of Organ Core. And prior to this list, everyone was playing either people leaning towards upcycled, trying to push out big minions like Sesmir, and they were running tattoos and stuff.
Yep.
And then there was also the other build with Memento and Portable Energy Bay. But I just wasn't very convinced. I just felt like those cards were kind of slow. And it's so easy to just ignore it if they are not on a hardlink pilot. Yeah, and even when you bring it back with like the Scrap Heap Savager, right? People ignore it, and it just takes too long to develop.
I love that card. I'm so sad.
Like,
I'm so sad no one likes Scrap Heap anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so much value in the card, right? Yeah. So this deck is mainly tuned to beat Catherine.
Yep.
Right? Catherine and Shroud, like, with point defense turret, obviously is really good against Shroud. And the cool cards, I guess, would be Aegis.
Yeah.
Right?
What is that for? So a lot of people might want to try this. What is the Aegis for? How are you using it when you play this?
It's mainly to protect like Painter, I guess, if it's on curve.
Yeah.
Or you can even just put it on a hardlink pilot and you get like a mega huge defender if it just keeps growing. So it's pretty funny.
Okay.
I've had like a hardlink go up to like 12 HP.
No way. What the heck?
Yeah. It was just sitting there and just defending. Like the opponent was like, how, like all his minions were just useless. Yeah. So that's pretty funny. I've had like Painters go up to 10 HP also.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and I mean Painter is really good, right?
Yeah.
When you pair it with like Gun Barge and all that. So yeah, Aegis is there for, if on curve, is to do that, just to protect some early minions. During the mid game, it's also pretty cool. You can protect Hearth, you can protect Alvaro, especially against Shroud and Cathy.
Yeah.
And they'll have such a huge headache. And then like in the late game, it's mostly, you put it on bigger minions so that they go out of range of dominant and things like that.
All right.
So I would say it's mainly for the Shroud matchup, honestly. Yeah. You force them into using Honored Steward on an actual unit instead of your token.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I think this is the first official kind of stun deck that we've ever seen in Parallel. I'm gonna give you the title for that. This feels like a nice stun deck, just like kind of controlling and everything. All right, Catherine, let's go to your list. You're known for no trigger happy trooper, and you kind of have always had your own unique list here. So this one is actually very interesting because you have all 3 board wipes that Marco has available to them: Sendrillon, Neutron Bomb, and Artillery Volley. Why did we decide to load up on all the nukes that the Markolian army has?
So I think when you look at this list, I think Gnaeus might be a bit scared because of the amount of bot wipe. Yeah. And I think against Shroud this is just a bit better.
Okay.
Just a little bit better. You are not really relying on your early game, trying to like nut draw your opponent. You're actually playing towards your mid to late. Yeah. So that's why I preferred this list over the standard list. I played both lists and I know the strengths and weaknesses. And I obviously brought this list because this list is weaker in the mirror. And I was trying my best to get people to play Catherine against me.
Okay, wait, so did you play this deck during day one, or was this like a smokescreen deck? Like it was there to bait?
Smokescreen, yeah. I was never gonna play this.
Okay, you're baiting. We're baiting. You wanted them to play Catherine into this.
I wanted people to feel comfortable playing Catherine to me.
Yeah. Okay. You don't feel like the workshop kept them away from it, or no?
Not really.
Okay.
But I couldn't really bring other decks actually in that slot. It was just kind of difficult.
Okay.
I still needed something that would discourage people from playing Neve.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
I couldn't play. I couldn't bring Universal because of that.
Yeah, I understand.
So I had no choice but to bring the workshop in that slot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the favorite. Everyone was super hyped when they saw this. The New Dawn list. How did you think of this? Why did you choose New Dawn? And even like I think I have a good understanding on how this deck plays, but I want you to talk about it because a lot of people see this and they're like, there's just like so much removal, there's so much like counterplay in this. So yeah, why did we bring this New Dawn?
Well, because there's no ban, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say out of all the shrouds, if there's ever a mirror, New Dawn would be the best.
Yeah.
And I've actually tried something like this in Alpha before. Because I wanted to try like a full-on control deck.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I just didn't need to be proactive, and I just wanted to react to what people were doing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
Right?
control.
And
It has only control in most of it, aside from a very few set
yeah,
of
yeah,
cards.
yeah, yeah. So it's just a mega control deck.
Okay.
And I think that's how you beat Neve
Yeah.
properly, right? You don't need to. You just need to run them out of resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this deck, what it does, you can answer. They only play one threat at a time.
Mhm.
So with like 3 erasures, 3 stolen powers, triple demo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like full on just control, and this deck looks so weak into Catherine. Like this deck has no chance against Catherine, by the way.
Okay. Okay. So this is also like it's there for Shroud if you think you can get the Shroud matchup, but it's
Yeah.
also another bait to play Catherine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I saw the Bora. I remember when I first saw this during the tournament, and I was like, "Oh my God, you can't Dominion this thing! Like, what is Neve
Yes.
like that? Like, when I saw that on board, I was like, this like whoever any Neve that's not ready for this guy is like just immediately gonna
Senior
get
card.
wrecked."
Senior card lost to Bora.
Yeah, Bora, like he even said, like I think he even
Yeah.
said, like in the Exile Discord, he's like, I didn't even think about like that I couldn't get rid of it. Like I saw it in his hand, and I was just like, oh, this card's like whatever. And so then
Yeah, and I played it.
at that point, I had all the Exile players, like I was like, read this message, like make sure you do not fall for like this Newton list. Like it is gonna take names. How many games did you play this?
I played it twice.
Okay, twice.
Yeah.
Okay, and it worked
And
as you
I
wanted.
won both.
All right, very nice.
Yeah, I won both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned we have the 4 decks. You mentioned kind of like the strategy. How did Swiss go for you? I believe you only went one loss, right?
Yep.
And yeah, how did it go for you? How did you decide what decks to pick? Like how did it go? What's the process of influencing your opponent into like falling for your traps, I guess? And how does that work, especially in the beginning of the round, because you don't really know too much, right? Like how do you pick your
Yeah.
first few decks and stuff?
Oh, I was super ready to play 7 games of Erden.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. That was my plan going into the
Yeah,
tournament,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, just play the most unexpected thing. I was really ready to play 7 games of Erden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because like I said, I want people to play what do you call that? Catherine into me, right?
Yeah.
And I feel the most comfortable when I'm on Erden versus Catherine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's like for most players, I think it will be really hard for them to play Neve into me.
Yeah.
If they put some thought to it, it's actually really hard to kill Neve into me. It's really hard. Really difficult. It's actually really difficult. So like I think the players that I felt maybe were a bit more like they would play safer,
Yeah.
I think. Right? Or maybe like less experienced. I was very confident I'll just play Erden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the good news is that most people know that I play everything and anything.
Yeah.
I don't have like tendencies. I don't lean towards something. I just don't like to play Catherine. But I'll still play it,
Yeah.
right? Because it's still a deck that I've played
Yeah.
for like very long. Yeah. So it's very difficult to kind of tell what I'm leaning towards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you know to make the switch where the Neve players that you played Newton against, you just saw that they were playing Neve maybe the whole way through, or was there like any like decisions other than that?
So the first one that played Neve against me was Senior Court.
Okay.
And he had no Catherine. So
Yeah.
like so I was like, wait, he has no Catherine. My new Dawn will beat any deck he plays.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that was the first one. I was like,
Yep.
oh wait, if I just play New Dawn, he cannot beat me. He can't ever beat me. He has nothing to beat New Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then against Senku, he had a tendency to play Neve.
Okay. No, that's very
Like, I
interesting.
looked at his history and all that.
Gotcha.
And he was leading towards Neve a lot. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go New Dawn here.
Yeah. No, I think that says a lot. You had a strategy that you were prepared to fall into, and there's kind of like rule sets that if they're playing these set of decks, go this way. If you feel like they're going to go one way or another, you can make the swap. And then otherwise you had the game plan. So I think that's super solid. Let's move on to day 2, because day 2 were a whole set of different decks, right? Did anything change in your thought process going into this? Like, for example, day 1, there was no Gnaeus. Day 2, there is Gnaeus. So what changed this time around and stuff?
So for day 2, I went back to my original strat in the invitational of countering Catherine. Yeah. So like I always believe that Gnaeus is favor against Catherine.
Yeah.
And you can see like I put back the relic removals in this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So day 2 was like, okay, I just want to try to farm Catherine as much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this list is pretty standard. Yeah, everything's pretty standard. Saboteur is there for Catherine, and then we have BMF for like Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing, just a bit of late game in case I need to face an Erden.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like even like against Organ Core.
Yeah. Super
Yep,
solid.
so
I
pretty
noticed
standard, I guess.
no synchronicities. That was kind of like a fan favorite. Do you just
Ah,
you couldn't fit it in, or you don't like the card? I guess is my question.
I just don't like it.
Okay.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of synchro. It's so situational.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the day 2. With the next deck, we got the Universal Workshop here. Universal seems to have made it into the hearts of like every player now. Everyone's got the dream for Ingrid and Freitas. So yeah, I noticed your list was missing the drone printer that like a lot of the other Universals are starting to play now. So why didn't you bring that? And then 2, how do you feel about Universal in general with like these kind of tournaments? Do you think they're always gonna be kind of brought, or what situations make you decide like, oh, I'm gonna go for the Universal?
So I didn't go for a drone printer because I just don't want to play relic
Yeah.
most of the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I don't want to enable other people's removal.
Yeah.
And I think in tournaments Uni will be good because you get to bench out,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get to bench out, and the moment you get to bench out, Ingrid and Freitas just feel so much safer. And in general, most Uni, like if you face like a normal Organ Core, you're gonna win like 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
Right? So this is like in a tournament setting, this kind of like just the best
Yeah.
Organ Core to bring. Yeah,
Okay.
because you beat the mirror,
Yeah.
and you get to ban out its biggest opponent. Yeah. And against like Erden, this stands a bit more chance,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than like normal Organ.
Yeah.
So there's just too many upsides. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just no downside to bring Uni
Yeah.
instead of like normal Organ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you think if Ogden ever gets to like the tier 1 spot again, like it has in the past, that Uni comes in like another parallel, or is it just like Ogden or bust for you? Like Cathari or Marco or something?
Oh,
Or would it just depends?
It really depends.
Okay.
It's so hard to call though. Like
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
obviously Perp had Uni Nehemiah,
Yeah.
right? Which I guess it's alright because at least the passive does something if
Yeah.
you stick minions on board. But like Workshop just has like the best passive, so it just feels the best in this deck.
Okay.
Yeah, with Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we went back to the Brand, right, for your next Shroud deck. No more New Dawn. Did you not want to try the New Dawn? Was there any thought that, like, oh, maybe the New Dawn was so good day 1 that I want to bring it day 2? Or Comfort Brand, just like very strong tempo, overall can just beat most matchups off tempo alone, if you can like ban appropriately? Like, what were the thoughts for this Shroud pick?
So I cannot bring New Dawn because I'm leaving Catherine open.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it.
Okay.
So I definitely still need to go Brand.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Brand does really well against it does better, I think, than Neve against like Organ Core.
Yeah.
Right. You care less about point defense turret and stuff like that. You know, Brand itself carries that matchup a lot. And against Catherine, I guess this is also a bit more stable. Like because as Neve against Catherine, you kind of have 3 dead cards already, right? Dominants are cards that you never ever want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, if you play Brand, you can just cut those dominants and play like things that actually help you against Catherine. So we are talking like Saboteurs here, Nullify Acolytes, and like, you know, we can run like Triple Whisperer, can go like the 5/1 damage spells. So yeah, so it just overall feels a bit more stable against the matchups that I want to face.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have the Nehemiah. This list it's only a little bit different than the day 1. What changed? I think, is it all? Oh, wait, no. We actually did see some new cards in this one, right? Wrath of Earth made its appearance, Ritual Markings. What made you decide to bring both of those? And then I guess after that we can talk about game plan with the draft and stuff.
So I mean Ritual is good in the mirror, so is Rough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These cards just feel a bit better in the mirror and also a bit better against Organ Core. Like let's say if people play like their 0-3s and whatever, like 0-4s, Ritual and Rough helps to get rid of those. And this list also compared to day one didn't have Hearth, but this one has Hearth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you play Hearth, the one cost spells make a bit more sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And like it should work.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it should work better
Yeah.
against Markolian. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So
Solid.
that's about it.
So we came in with this 4-deck lineup. We went into day 2. What was so you made it sound like with the brand, like right, Neve was always the ban, or Shroud was always the ban. Any other thoughts in draft? Like how did you first pick, second pick, so on?
Oh, no thoughts actually. First pick Elden every game.
All right, Earthen first pick every game. I like that though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm of the opinion that Earthen is probably like one of, if not the strongest parallels outside of Shroud, if there's no Shroud involved, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I like that. That makes sense. So first game is Earthen every game. What about after that is just like whatever they have left and then whatever you have left and deciding from there?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I would always open Erden.
Okay.
It just feels the most comfortable. I only didn't get to play Erden against Perp because he actually banned Erden.
Okay. Yeah.
He actually banned Erden.
Okay.
So so firstly it was against, I started off my top 8 against Pepito.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started open with Erden and I lost against Catherine.
Yeah.
Like that was kinda, I was like really. Yeah, I drew dead for like 2 turns, so it was kind of unfortunate.
No. Yeah.
And I ran it back with like Erden again against Gnaeus. They got it through. And then what was the other deck that I played against? Oh, he banned Gnaeus. Oh, so I went Brand. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you went Brand and then you won from there. Okay. Very, very solid.
Yeah, so yep.
Any special moments or anything you want to highlight or anything like that, or any like thoughts about how you prepared for this? Do things stay the same going forward in the next few tournaments, or do things change a little bit? What are you thinking?
I don't think there was anything too crazy to highlight.
Okay.
I guess the New Dawn game was just really fun for me.
Yeah.
yeah, the game was really fun. I just had so much fun controlling everything. Yeah, like even though he kind of high rolled me with his Triumph top deck, I was like, oh my god, not like, really. It got me scared a bit, but then after all, I was like, wait, why am I still so in such a comfortable spot?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that was really,
yeah.
At one point, I think I had like 7 hand, and he had like 2 cards in hand.
Oh my
like
god, that's not what you want to be at against New Dawn for sure.
Yeah. So that the game was like pretty fun. I was just chilling most of the time. Other than that, yeah, and so I mean, as you know, like I managed to beat Manos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I saw the match, I was like, oh my god, really?
Yeah. For context, it was
hard.
Neve versus Nehemiah, right? Manos had locked in the Neve.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sat in Discord for like, he kept DMing me like every 2 minutes. He's like, do we do this? And I'm like, listen, it's a 50-50. Like he either guessed right or we guessed right. Because like, both sides were smart enough to know that the other was going to try to counterplay the other. So how much can we, take the risk and get away with it? And that's what surprised me about best of 1. I did come in kind of like what you were saying, as other people's thought, like, oh, it's kind of like coin flip, like whatever happens, it happens. Don't take too much, pressure from this, or don't feel too attached to like how you perform. I was telling that to a lot of the Exile players because, like, one match you can't really decide too much. But after the first few rounds, I actually thought it was like, I don't know, I had a lot of fun in drafting, like looking at the other opponent's decks, being like, okay, they've been locking this in. These are the lists. I feel like this is a trap. Like, I feel like they're not even playing this. And telling players or helping players like lock in decks and stuff was really cool. I mean, at least it's from a coach front. I can imagine for all players, you started to notice a little bit more of strategy as the rounds went on, which is really cool.
Yeah. So I mean I think like the community is small enough anyway.
Yeah.
Like a lot of a lot of us know one another. So with that information, you more or less know like who's gonna be thinking, who's not gonna be thinking,
Yeah.
who's gonna be thinking more. Yeah. And like unfortunately for me, actually against the lineup that Manos had, by right, I should just play Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Workshop is mega safe into that.
Okay.
But the problem is that I've used my so I think he like that deck list is kind of like a surprise.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people haven't really played against it before.
He's already
Like,
seen
they
it.
might not, yeah, they might not really know what to do, but Manos has played against it too many times. And yeah, I think he's a bit more comfortable. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Never mind. I'll just roll the dice
Yeah.
and go like Erden instead. It was either Erden or New Dawn. I was
Okay.
really close to New Dawn either too.
Yeah,
But yeah.
No, that makes sense. That's really cool. We thank you, Sequinox, for your time. Any last words that you want to give before we wrap this up? And I'm sure we'll obviously do more of these with you in the future with how you come up with decks.
Thanks for having me.
No, of
It's
course.
always fun to talk parallel.
Yeah.
Always fun to talk strategy and all that. Probably just I'm looking forward to the next 2 tournaments, right? It's not gonna be 4 decks now. It's gonna be 3 decks.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think it'll be even more intense.
3 decks
to
with
be
a
honest.
ban is gonna be pretty intense.
Yeah. So I think right now some of the lineups that we have, like the quad deck lineup, there's always like a hole.
Yeah.
Right? There's always like a weakest link. And let's see, like, without that weakest link, how will things turn out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I don't have to bring Catherine, or like I don't know, I don't have to bring Napoleon, or like no, I don't have to bring Qatari. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's
That's all true.
gonna be.
I think it's gonna be really
so-
cool. I'm really excited for the next 2 weeks of tournaments. So the formats will be cool, and who knows what else we get. We're used to Conquest, but maybe it seems like there might be a chance we see like what is it, Last Hero Standing?
Last Hero.
Yeah.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah, some people
That's
have
not
talked
good,
about
though.
it. Some people have talked about it. I'm like, that's crazy. In a parallel, I feel like that's tough. Cause
Yeah, not right now. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Last Hero Standing, like everyone's just gonna play Neve.
Yeah.
I think.
Neve all
Like
the way
Catherine.
through. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like okay. Everyone starts with Catherine first, and then whoever wins the first game wins everything. I don't know.
No, man. That'd be crazy.
I don't know. Might be interesting.
Yeah.
Might be interesting. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sequinox. It's always a pleasure to have you, and really, really cool. I'm excited that we were able to film this, and I have no doubt we're going to do a ton of these in the future. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we will see you later.